Hi all, I'm Akshay. Today we are going to learn about the basics of extent reporting. So let me just tell you the importance of reporting first. It is a synopsis of all the test activities. It helps to understand the number of test cases performed, reason behind certain test case failures. We show the results to release management, so it should be very easy to understand. And coming back to extent reporting, these are HTML based reports. Most of the projects use them and they have detailed reports with charts, and we can pass test cases, fail test cases, as well as provide certain information to it. So let's start with the coding part. Prerequisite is we should have knowledge of Java and Maven, very basic knowledge, and I have installed Eclipse and created one project called ExtentReport. As this is a Maven project, we get the pom.xml. We need to add the dependency that is required for the extent reporting, which can be found in the Maven repository. So this is the mavenrepository.com, and we need to search for extent reports. I generally use this one, com.eventstack, and the latest version is 5.0.9. So I'm going to use the latest one. Just copy the dependency, and when you see in the POM file, these are all the dependencies. So there is only currently one dependency, JUnit. So we need to add it here. Control Shift F for formatting. So under dependencies, now we have added this latest dependency and we need to save. So automatically, as you can see, the project is building and this dependency will be added to the project. Now there are three main parts in the extent reporting. There is an ExtentSparkReporter, which is used to get the file name, path, report name, and document title. The second class is ExtentReports, which is used to attach the reporter to it and set some system info like who is the tester, etc. And last is the most important part, which is ExtentTest. So ExtentTest is like one test case which we can create first. Then we can pass the test, fail the test, add log to it, add screenshots to it. And in the end, we have to flush the test, that is end of the test case. Now I'm going to create a class under SRC test Java. And we are going to need the main method. So as this is a very basic one, we are not going to talk about testng, or we are not going to make it more complicated. We'll just write our code inside the main method and run it as a simple Java application. Okay, so here we go. Practice class is created and we have a main method now. In the main method, let's start our extent test report coding. So initially we are going to provide a path where the HTML report should get generated. So we are going to provide the path in a simple string. By using system.getProperty, we can get the current user directory. So system.getProperty user directory will give the path of extent report. After that, we are going to add our path. What we are going to do, let's just create one folder here called reports. So our extent report, our expectation is that it should get generated inside of this. So we are going to provide reports and the report name. So as I told earlier, extent report is an HTML report. So I'm going to call it extent report.html. Okay. So just to summarize, system.getProperty will be like this path, extent report, whichever is in the project. Yeah. And then in the reports folder, this HTML will be created. Now, as I told you earlier that we are going to need the first part is ExtentSparkReporter. So ExtentSparkReporter. We are going to create an object of ExtentSparkReporter. So I'm just simply going to call it reporter. Okay. New. I'll just copy this. Now here we have created the reporter, but as you can see that we need to provide this path as this is a giving one error. What does it say? That first we need to import ExtentSparkReporter. So because we have provided the POM file, so we can directly import this. So this is fine. And now we need to provide the file path. So this is the path. Okay, now this is working fine. Now the reporter is created. In the reporter, when I write reporter, when I type reporter dot, you see lot of options are present here. One of the option is like add file to it also, and there are many options. Now we are going to create a configuration. So one option is that we can have an XML file and we can load the XML configuration. That could be one of the option, but this is the simple one. So what we are going to do, we are going to use the config option, only simple config basic option. Now in the config, we are going to use different options like set report name, etc. So one of them is set reporter and set report name. So let's use the set report name, HTML report for test case 1. After setting the report name, we can also set the document title using reporter config dot set. So you can see here already it is present, set document title. Now the document title could be test report. Now the ExtentSparkReporter is set with the report name and document title. Now we have completed the first part, which is ExtentSparkReporter, where we got the file name of the report, path, report name and document title. Let's go to the second part, which is ExtentReports, which is used to attach the reporter and set system info. ExtentReports, create object called reports, equal to new ExtentReports. Now that we have created it, we have to import the ExtentReports. Let's use this reports dot. You can see there again lot of options. We have to first do this one, attach reporter. In the attach reporter, what we need to do is we have already created a reporter here. We are using ExtentSparkReporter, right? So we attach it here. Now error is gone, or there are no issues with this code. After attaching the reporter, we can also set some system info such as dot set system info. So you can see that string k, string v, there are two types of strategies available. So left side we can say tester name, right side we can provide the name, or we can say such as environment, etc. So this kind of information we can provide. So we'll say tester name. Here we can say share. So we can do this n number of times, whichever information we need to provide, such as environment, say test1 environment. So now this is the second part is also done. Now let's go to the last part, which is the main part, basically ExtentTest, where we are actually going to create the test, pass or fail the test, and in the end we are going to flush the test, that is to stop the test case. Okay. Now ExtentTest space test. This is the name of our test case, let's say object of ExtentTest, and we are going to create a test using the ExtentReports. Okay, so we are going to say reports. When you click on dot, it should automatically give create test, and there is a string name. So this could be the this is basically the name of the test. We are going to say test 1, and we have to import the extent test also. Now let's see, we are just trying to, what we are trying to do is how to use the extent test. So we don't actually have a real test case or anything. So we are going to just use a dummy test with a pass or fail option, etc. So what happens is that in this part we can provide our actual code. So whether it is a REST API code or Selenium code, so that can be used here. Now I'm going to simply say test.pass and use the, I'm going to provide information that test1 pass. This is how we can simply also fail the test. So for that purpose we can say test.fail, provide the info. So that one we are not going to do. Let's go with the test1 as pass. Now the last step is we have to flush, but we have to flush the reports and not the extent tests. So if we say reports dot flush. So what happened is that the reporter is necessary to set up. It is like a prerequisite, and after the reports will can have n number of reports. So it is possible that I have two tests inside of it. This is called test2, create test, test2. Now test2 dot, we can maybe call fail the test and say test2 fail. So this flush part comes at the very end. Now let's execute and check the test report. Practice.java, run as Java application, and the execution is complete because we don't have any actual code like Selenium or anything, so it is quickly done. Under the reports folder, one HTML file is generated called ExtentReport.html. So this is because of the path that we provided, reports folder and the HTML file. Now let me open the HTML. This is our report. The report name HTML report for test case 1 comes from here. Set report name HTML report for test case 1. Now the second part is set document title as test report. So here in this side you can see that test report is here present. Now let me just quickly explain the results here. Now the test 1 is pass, status as pass with the timestamp and details as test 1 is pass, and with the time and total time it took for the execution, it is in the milliseconds because it executed very fast. This comes from this part, right? So extend test create test called test1. So this test1 is coming and details test1 pass. Similar for test2, only difference is that status is fail and details we change to fail also. Now here we can see that what is the start date and time and what is the end time and how many tests pass. One is pass, one is fail. Here also it is giving the same information. So this pass and fail is basically events. So these events are also logged. The timeline is showing how much time it took for the total execution. So this is in very less millisecond. And the final part, tester name Akshay and environment test1. So this is coming from the reporter. So in the reporter, we set the system info as tester name for tester name and environment. So this is also coming here. So this is a very simple extent report that we just created only for the understanding of it. So I hope this was useful and understandable. Now let me just quickly correct this part. As this comes in the end, it's like flush object of extent reports. Correct. So this is done, and in the extended we can create test, pass or fail tests. Now let me just quickly show you what happens if we don't use this part. So in the flush, I have commented this part, reports.flush, and I have also deleted the earlier reports. So as you can see, there is nothing in the reports folder. We'll just quickly run this as Java application. Execution is done. Again, refresh the project. So in the reports, the HTML is not generated. So why this is why the last part, that reports.flush, is very important. And we do that again and use refresh, then you see that HTML is generated. Thanks for watching this video. Like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to put this extent report project into Google Drive and share the link with you.